Today we're going to update the firmware in a Ubiquiti router. I'll specifically be using the Edge Router Lite, but the procedure can be used for many other Ubiquiti routers and other product lines. I'll assume you already have your router up and running, and that you're able to connect to it using a computer on the same subnet, just as I'm doing here. Let's enter the login and password, after which you'll see the dashboard for the EdgeMax interface. Not only have I not updated the firmware for a while, but I haven't even restarted the router for over a year. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll see the current firmware version, which in my case is 2.0.4. What you'll want to do is hit the System tab at the bottom left-hand corner, which pops up a panel. Once again, it lets you know what version you're currently on, and when you scroll down a page, you'll see a section called Upgrade System Image. This is where you'll upgrade the firmware. The first thing you'll need to do is click on this hyperlink, which takes you to the download section of Ubiquiti's website. Across the top, you'll see the various product families that Ubiquiti supports, and down the left-hand menu are all of the product lines that belong in the product family that's currently selected. We want to click on the EdgeMax family, which includes their router and switch products. The initial list displays the releases for every product in the family, but to narrow it down, I'll select my Edge Router Lite on the left menu. Here you can see the latest firmware that's available, which is version 2.0.9 Hotfix 2, released on this date. If you want more information about this release, you can click on that line and hit Download Release Notes, which tells you exactly what's been fixed in this update. I'll go ahead and close that out, and if you want to know the history of all the releases, you can click on See Past Firmware if you wish, then look at the previous release notes to investigate all the fixes that have accumulated over time. I'm simply going to return to the latest release at the top again and hit the Download button. After reading the license agreement, click I accept, then choose Download File, after which it'll start the transfer. It's about 75 megabytes in size, so it'll take a few seconds. This is a TAR file, which is basically an archive containing one or more files. You won't need to uncompress it since Ubiquiti will use the file as is. My download directory for my browser happens to be in eDownloads. So after I go back to my browser and tab to my Edge OS screen, I can now hit the Upload a File button, navigate to my Downloads folder, and choose the file. At this point, it's now updating the firmware for the router. This will take a few minutes, so I'll go boil some water for my coffee and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. After the update process, it'll ask you to reboot the router so that the update takes effect. Make sure no one else in your household is playing an online game or watching a YouTube video, because the network will cut off for a minute. And then hit Reboot. Then yes, I'm sure. If you're sure. I'll go brew the coffee in my French press.
The internet's down!
I'll go brew the coffee in my French press and I'll be back in a moment. To confirm that the firmware update has been installed, I'll log back into the router and we can see that the version number has indeed incremented to version 2.0.9 Hotfix 2. And you can now alert your household that they can go back online. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.